and I guess we'll get started. Kurt, I'm not sure if everyone's seeing the screen. It just right now it says new meeting. Oh, there it is. Okay, so just next slide whenever you're ready.
Working on
it. Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. So I guess I'll just take this from the top. Really, the situation was going back a few years ago and many years prior. Oki, like many other organizations, has a dedicated internal channel sales team as well as a rather large network of dealers, and each of them had a need for them to be able to access information on the fly at their fingertips. Problem being, before the proliferation of smartphones, is that wasn't always such an easy task. The addition of smartphones. Next slide, Kurt.
Working.
Okay.
Not being friendly.
No, I wasn't sure if it was just my computer. Oh, there we go. Okay, so what we were looking for is a platform that to simplify the process at hand, and basically what they were doing. We have an intranet that is accessible to by all of our partners as well as our sales team, and that's where they could turn and gather their information. Problem being is that it wasn't mobile friendly at all, and it's a lot of times it's more difficult. It was sort of a cumbersome area to go and navigate. So what it really culminated in is these guys are on the go, they're very busy, and they needed their information. So what do? They just pick up the phone or fire off an email. Hey, reach out to the marketing manager. Can I get this? Can I get that? And that's all well and good, except for that person's extremely busy, and everyone needs that information now. And it's not just one person. It's 7 people a day, 8 people a day, or whatever it may be. So you're constantly getting inundated with these requests. As minor as they are, they still take time to accept. So, Kurt, if we can go to the next one. So the solution, especially as smartphones started to gain more traction, was perhaps we develop an app. So we had explored developing one from scratch, and of course, at that time we're dealing with basically 4 core platforms. There was BlackBerry, Android, Windows, and of course Apple. So we had to deal with the different platforms, and of course it's very time intensive to develop an app, and it was also going to be extremely costly. So it wasn't long after that ChannelCandy had actually reached out to us, and I guess this was sort of early on in their existence, and they were offering a package that was basically going to support Apple and Android, which I actually saw a stat somewhere this week that actually is now 96% of the smartphone market worldwide. So, and I'm sure that number is only going to increase as they gain more and more market share. So. But what was nice about it is that it was templated. So what that really meant is that we could launch it very quickly, and it was going to be much, much more cost effective. So it was also very customizable. So we could get out of it exactly what we needed, as far as the setup. And I guess if we move to the next slide.
Yep.
So committing to ChannelCandy was a pretty fairly easy decision. It took a lot of the guesswork out of it. We already identified the audience. Early on, we decided, obviously there's a lot of different ways that we could go with it. We could really open it up to our entire channel. We could open it up, create an app that was more geared towards end users. But out of the gate, what we really decided is that we wanted to focus on our BTA dealer partners as well as our internal sales team. And what this is going to do is this is going to allow us to roll out the information more easily, because a lot of this content is specific to this audience. And we figured it would be better to walk before we run. So, and so once we knew the audience, we needed to determine all the things that we wanted to include. Certainly company news is important to us. we want to make sure that everyone is staying in tune with different products that we're introducing, other major announcements, different activities, things like that. So we have it currently set up where it's pulling in from our Twitter feed, but we also have our press room set up in there, and I believe there's something else that I could be missing, but we have the company news, so people are able to constantly stay in tune with what we have going on. And just the same, we wanted to make sure that the audience knew what was happening in the marketplace. And this is a nice feature because what this allows us to do is partner with a third-party news syndication service, which is now feeding in news. I believe there's ongoing updates of different things in the marketplace. This was sort of the next thing on the list, which was Gap Intelligence's Gap TCO calculator. This was basically it was going to be a nice-to-have feature, and I'll get back to that a little later. But this was a major opportunity for us to really put a powerful tool in the hands of everyone who was out in the field. Obviously, and the main reason why we wanted to have this tool is we wanted to have our entire product and solutions portfolio available to them, have it so they could pull up different product specs on the fly, pull up brochures and things like that they could then, out of the app, forward it on to whoever they were meeting with. And of course, we wanted to have the different promotions in there. And there's some other things, the YouTube channel, which contain not only promotional videos, product feature videos, but also some how-tos. We wanted to include technical bulletins and events calculators, certainly a long list of things that we wanted to include. So, it was sort of the challenge at hand for Channelize, but what was nice is that Channelize was, and you can move on, Kurt, what was nice is that Channelize was basically able to say, yeah, sure, we can make that all happen, and the layout supported that very well. So in getting everything set up, we, of course, though, had to address a few different challenges. The first challenge was that we wanted to limit access. We couldn't just open it up to everyone, but we also wanted to be seamless. So every time someone new came on board, whether it was a new addition to our sales team, go in and update the permissions. So we actually worked with the Channelize team and their team of developers, and we came up with a solution, which was through our SAP system, which registers and connects to a portal. It identifies the different type of partners that we have in our system, as well as the sales team, and we were able to work to create a single sign-on, which I really couldn't explain how that happened, but I know now. So that was a very key thing for us in getting this app launched. Probably the most beneficial thing, as far as being able to roll out an app, because we really did need to be able to separate it and have a pretty seamless sign-on. And so people know that in order to access the app, they just basically need to use their business partner exchange portal credentials that they have already for Oki. So that gave them the opportunity to really get in there. And then also, because their content that they were gaining access to, a lot of the information currently existed behind the portal, and we needed a means for them to access it without, I guess going in and having to update it constantly. The app needs to, in order for it to work, we need to basically make a lot of it turnkey. So they were also able to figure out how we can pull in a lot of the information automatically which sits on this portal, so it seamlessly appears there on the fly. And then the next big challenge was Gap TCO calculator, while an extremely valuable tool, was Flash-based, and as far as apps work, neither Android nor Apple support Flash, so that was a major challenge. So we were actually able to all work together, Gap Intelligence, Channelize, and Oki, to get the app, Gap Intelligence's tool converted over to HTML5, which is extremely valuable, and that was a more recent addition. So I guess if we can move this along. So as far as rolling this out to the public, we had it where we got it to a point where we were happy with it and we were ready to roll this out to everyone. So we put out a number of different email invitations to the audience that we wanted to invite and gave them all the instructions for downloading and everything. And we also provided a promo flyer to the sales representatives so they can go around, so when they're doing their site visits with the different partners that they could invite people as needed. And then, of course, we gave everyone a hands-on tutorial webinar. So I guess moving forward. So the evolution. We launched the app really, I guess, less than a year ago. We started on it, but through a variety of reasons, we didn't launch it immediately. But we got it up and running, and it wasn't long after that we started to look into, well, how can we expand this and evolve it into something even better. The first thing that we started to look at is right now we only have it available to our channel partners on the BTA side. How do we increase the reach so it really touches anyone who is who is a partner of Okies? So what we're currently working on with Channel Eyes is how do we delineate the partner types in the sign-on, because a lot of the information that they can access is specific to the partner type. So, for example, our promotions that are available to them. Not everyone has access to the same type of promotions based on things. Same thing with different products. Not every product is available to everyone. So we needed to get that sorted out. And it looks like we're now going to have a solution where that information with the single sign-on is going to be able to pull that in there. And another big thing that we're looking to do, I believe this was a tool that was added to Channel Eyes portfolio here more recently, which is the card carousel. And we're going to migrate all of our products and solutions into this layout. And what this will do is it'll make it a lot easier for our partners and our sales team to more quickly sort through our different products, access the information that they need, and then, of course, as needed, gain additional information. And then, of course, we want to have an ongoing updates where we're constantly updating the events area, as well as leveraging push notifications to promote the different activities, such as our attendance at ITEX in a couple weeks. And of course, I think longer term, there are a lot of additional opportunities, and I'm sure Kurt and the rest of the team are more than happy to share that. But things that are certainly of interest and where we've been discussing internally are things like gamification, where we can basically use it as a tool to help onboard people and get them up to speed with our products and our offerings. And just the same with a pitch tracker, so we can help track our successes and know where we're winning and how we're winning. And then also, I think that there's an interesting opportunity with the social syndication. So these are ongoing things that we're looking to, roll out in time. And I'm sure Channel Eyes even has additional things. So I guess basically that's my story. I don't know if there's anything else, Kurt, that you'd like me to add.
I think that was a great summary. Appreciate it.
Okay, cool.
Don't know if anyone has any questions. I've got everybody muted, so we'll unmute you, or you can type them in the box. Everybody's unmuted now.
Right.
Questions?
Hi.
Right. You go for one reason, but pay for a whole lot of other reasons.
Oh, we got a lot of background. Does someone have a question?
I have a question. This is Stephanie from CA
Take
Technologies.
more money. Do it right.
Hey. Hang
That'll
on.
be a short call. Okay, bye.
Okay. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Okay. My question is, in terms of the functionality of the new app that you have, do you have some screenshots or a demo to see what it looks like in terms of how to navigate through and what it looks like with these new functions, features?
You know what? I don't have that handy. Kurt, are you able to bring up our instance? I can always circle back with you and provide you. I'm going to look and see. I was sort of short on time. I had intended on including some imagery.
Okay. So I heard part of it, something about a screenshot and imagery.
Oh,
but I
I
didn't
had
hear
intended on including screenshots, but unfortunately, leading up to this, I was sort of short on time. If it's handy for Kurt to log into my instance, I may be able to provide that. Otherwise, I believe there's a slide getting started, and I can sort of speak to it from there.
Yeah, we currently have the app too. I just wanted to see a little bit of like, I think I saw some images in there with like different colors and styles, and wasn't sure how it actually looked like visually.
Oh, okay. It looks a lot like the current template that, and I'm logging into it right now from my phone. It looks a lot like the template that comes from it. And that on the left, when you log in, is the home screen, which it aggregates a lot of the information. Next to that is where we have our market news, and I don't know if that's the image the screen capture that I provided shows that. Again, that pulls in the information. And we on the main thing have TCO calculator. We also have the products area where people can access it. We put all those along the bottom because we figured that each of those areas would be of most interest. And then, of course, to the right is where we have our more section, and that's where we include different things that they can access, such as our promotions, the resource center where they can download different brochures that we have. We have the solutions page, which connects to a solutions area.
Okay, so those images there, like with the red background, okay, I can see it closely now, yeah. So that looks just like it. It's just different. You just have a different color palette in the back. But in terms of functionality, it looks the same with the menu and the screen swipes that you can go to each section of the on the home tab. Right,
and we found it to be more than sufficient as far as easy navigation, and it allows people to access the information. We feel as though we have it to a pretty decent point as far as getting people where they need to go.
Very cool. I just was curious if it looked the same. So thank you.
No problem.
So, and so the federal government, non-federal government, is that a comma or is that a?
All right. If there's no other questions, we will move on. Thank you very much, Aaron. Get you unmuted again.
Yes.
Yep. Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
And if you think of any other questions, let's see, Simon. Do you have a secure video content or only YouTube?
I'm sorry, that was a question. Yes, we do have our YouTube channel. Unfortunately, it just connects directly to the channel. I don't believe we do have secure content. However, I don't think that at this time we are showcasing it within the channel or within the application. I'm sure that's something that we can look to in the future.
Yeah, and I think you can make things private on YouTube as well now, so that if you did link someone to it, they would require a password to actually see it.
Right,
so,
I'm sure.
Yeah, so you've kind of got
a need that hasn't come up yet.
Yep, right, but that way there, yeah, linking to it from your app is supposed to see it, but to make sure the general public doesn't just find it on YouTube if you want it to be private. So that's how that's handled. Good question. Content, yes, we want people to see, but only see what we want them to see, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. Awesome. All right then. Let me move this on along to adoption, which, like I say, I know everyone is always talking to me about, because we all know and believe that leads to success. And that keeps us all around a lot longer when everybody's successful. So, and it's kind of my job here, so I'm really tuned into it. Some of the things that we've been promoting and have worked with people over the years as far as what works is you've got to get the word out, and lots of times it's the simplest and old-fashioned ways that get it out first and some of the easiest. wherever you're going to be with people, something printed still carries a lot of weight. And whether that's a 5x7 card, or I've had people that are going to their partner conference, so they put out the announcement with the announcement on one side and then instructions on how to get to the app on the back. Make it simple to get to the app. Don't make people have to search your stores, or the app stores rather. We're very happy to create QR codes for you and publish them back to you so you can use them, so that anybody from a smart device can get right to the exact URL, or there's a code required for either store. And plaster those things everywhere. This information, on email signatures, on stickers, on signs, on your trade show, on your business cards, because you've got to get the word out. And you marketing people can tell me better than most. What do you have to say it 7 times before someone might hear it? So it's a challenge for sure. One of the things we know it's a challenge is because we have to change the behavior of your partners. Most of you are not starting with a clean slate. You have an existing channel, an existing group of partners, and they're used to doing business in a certain way. And I've actually taken courses on this. Just the psychology of getting people to change is amazing. I mean, it could be if you turn right instead of left, you'll earn $100. You'll still have people not want to do it. It's just we're habitual creatures. So we've got to get back to basics. And I think one of the things that we can look at is my favorite acronym there is WIFM. What's in it for me? And we have to put our hat on and think about that a little bit from the partner's point of view. It has to be a win-win. We so much carrot and stick. We can't use all stick. We've got to have some carrot with all this. And some of the ways to do that is exclusive content. If you're changing how you deal with your partners from a portal and an email philosophy, which is already documented is 90% failure, let's not keep promoting the failure side of how you're doing things. Let's promote the new way of doing things, which we already know that partner is accessing over 100 times a day, that smartphone or tablet. So start using it as your way to communicate. Don't replicate what you're doing, and that also is going to then not be additive to your workload. Rather than putting it in the place that you know is 90% failure, put it where it's going to be successful. And I think ultimately there's going to have to be a little bit more there. Something, again, nothing speaks louder than a competition or a few dollars, and it doesn't have to be expensive to give some different discounts or awards or prizes, run some kind of competition. There's lots of things you can do to get people into the app for the first time and start to use it. That being said, it's always beneficial to have the commitment of some of your key partners up front. Get them involved a little bit in your design and what your content's going to be. They're going to be proud as peacocks and tell everybody else, hey, they were part of this. They helped you put it together. And if they're your key partners and everyone's aspiring to be as good or better than them and beat them the next quarter or year for sales dollars, people are going to take note of that. And a lot of you have advisory councils. I know I've worked with some of you on working with them again, because oftentimes they're your key partners to begin with. So get them involved early, again, so they migrate to this way of thinking. Once you have it out there, start communicating successes early and often. This could be who just won a big deal, or who was this partner of the quarter or month, or I see a lot of things on people's walls, and they're quite, it's corporate news, but I think we're missing an opportunity to communicate to the partner little snippets of information that are maybe less formal, but yet really get their attention as far as, hey, other people are using this. Wow, that distributor did that. Where did that guy come up with that sale? What market or industry did he get it in? Because if they're successful, I want to be successful. And ultimately, you want everyone to be successful as well. So, again, promote successes. Event announcements in the app. We had one customer that was looking to make sure every one of his partners had the app, and we came up with a plan with him. Was literally the only way you could register for his partner conference was a form in the app. And we did that form for him. You know, there's a form builder in the app, trained him how to use it, and literally, you know, there was no back door. There was no email. There was no website. There was no calling the secretary. And if you were going to his partner conference, it was in the app. Is it a little bit of a strong arm? Yes. But it's totally the way to start using the app and have people communicate with it. Again, sign up only in the app for events, webinars, things like that. And like Aaron said, you've got different partner levels and different tiers of people. So, you know, put their programs in the app, announce them, put a push out there, put the documentation, way to get to it on the partner communications wall. And again, that's things they're going to need to know to do their business. So that's kind of the type. So I know that's kind of an overview, and I offer this as a help to develop a plan for anybody and everyone. But I wondered if anyone out there wants to speak to some of their experiences or successes, or it haven't worked.
With Logarithm?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we ran a little bit of a we were at a partner's sales kickoff and had a little booth there with a QR code, and you know, we encouraged people to download the app, and we kind of featured the push notification capabilities by announcing a winner, you know, contest winner for a few people that downloaded the app. So really encourage people to download the app, show them what it can do, and a few of them won some money. So it seemed to be quite successful.
Cool. Did you see momentum build over the course as you did that, as more people found out about it?
Yes, we did, yeah.
Yeah. Like I say, nothing spreads success like hearing about somebody else's benefits. So that's awesome. Thanks. There was someone from Extreme on. I'm pretty sure they did something similar. I'm not sure. I think I saw that they had the lead. Anybody else? I know who's on. Don't make me call names.
Hi, this is Stephanie again.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
I know being the active participant in the front row. No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to say that I thought that the social feed and the new feature when you add an event, the fact that it can pop up on the wall, it's great. You know, we had some feedback from that saying, you know, that was good to catch their attention because you've got the push that can alert them that there's a new event or a new speedcast or new content or new material that we have available, and then they can also, we'll just stick with the event, for example, they can register right from there once they see it on their social feed, and they can go right to the link. So we're definitely leveraging that social feed tool like as much as we can because we're finding that to be a really great route to keep them in the know on the fly. So that was one observation that we've had so far. And there was another part, but we want to kind of expand on that. We actually
Stephanie, we lost you.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yep, now I can.
Okay, we were just saying that's the initial feedback we have from the social feed. But we'd like to do further work with the survey capability. So we'd like to look at that too, because we'd love to know more about, you know, what they like and all that.
Perfect. Yeah, you bring up a great point. With our December release, is the ability when you do post any kind of content is the ability, and matter of fact, the box is yes, to post on the main wall. So much easier now. Every time you add a document, add a link, an event, or do anything, that it does show up on that news wall, makes it really easy for people to see how you are feeding the app. And that's another one of my favorite analogies. You know, the app is like a car. You buy it, so don't just let it sit in the driveway. You got to put gas in it. You got to drive it. So to get anywhere and to get mileage and traction out, go for a ride. Any other comments, questions, concerns, or if not, we'll move on to the roadmap. And Charlie's got his shades on here because the roadmap is bright. We got a lot of good stuff coming out here, and in the near term. I know analytics are near and dear to me and most of you, and due to the input I got from a lot of you great customers last year, this is kind of what I put together as a mock-up and a request for Dev to work on. First and foremost, separation of data from partner teams.
The whole expenses thing.
Page.
The expenses submission is.
Or if you go to the graphical representation right now, which is a line graph, or if you just see the logins, everything is differentiated from partner to internal. Because for most of you, it's your partner channel that you're looking to monitor and understand their usages and their patterns more so than your internal. Not true for everybody. You know, you're interested in both. Some of you have multiple internal sales staff that you're working with, so we can handle that a little different way. But certainly working on getting those partner and internal data separated. Bear with me here. I get back to my slideshow. There we go. We've also asked for a great number of new statistics. One of them is the percentage of active partners. You know, when I first started, everybody here wanted to talk about total partners. You know, how many have I got? And I think it's kind of a carryover from the best data we could get for years was the total. But the more I talked with people, it's like, you know, I get like 80% of my business from 20 to 30% of my partners. So maybe I shouldn't be looking at my total number of partners, but who are really my active partners? Who's really making me my money, working with the app? And let's make them stronger and not worry about, if you will, the long tail of these users. Because I know I myself, when I was a VAR or systems integrator, I would sign up to be somebody's partner to get that extra 10% discount to buy some items that were mandated on a spec. But I had no intention of promoting that vendor's goods. You know, I'm still probably a black box partner if I look on their website, but and I'm sure that happens to everybody. And managing that, I think this will become a whole lot easier once we get these statistics for you. The first time any user logs in, I think it was requested, and that'll be kind of cool. So we'll always have that for historical purposes. All the logins for a user for the period selected in our analytics table. Right now, I can only give you the last login, but that person could have logged in 3 times that last day, or logged in every day throughout the period. And I can't give you that information right now, and I'm sure you'd like to know that. Also, something both not only in the analytics but right in the CMS itself is show by user what groups they belong to. As you all know, and as you heard, you know, segmentation of information is key to ensure you don't overload your partners with needless stuff. So it's to make that easier for you to understand and see and manage will go a long way. Who has accessed what? So basically, by user, what have they clicked on and done in the app so you can follow their behavior? And then conversely, by each item in the app, who has accessed it and when? So the cross-reference of that data from the two different views. And then, of course, per user, the likes, dislikes, and what have they made a favorite of. Again, gets you information on who's basically what is good about your content. And sometimes you want to follow up more on the dislikes than the likes, because how could someone dislike something you put up there? How dare they, but who knows? But again, it's information that we want to give you. So this is preliminary. These what you saw is a mock-up, and it's been what's been requested of design and dev. So once I get a design, excuse me, I'll be coming back out to some of you people to say how are we doing on this? Is it going to suit your needs? So appreciate everything you've done to help me get where we are. Well, next up, we're looking to have released here at the end of Q1 some UI upgrades. We know, even though it's a young product, it's amazing how quickly things can look older than they really are. So the guys are working hard on a cleaner and more modern look, going with kind of the flat look that is in today. The lower row of icons, we've got a nice library built up that we can go over and go through with you, and I think there'll be things like, let's use the funnel for filters, not the magic wand. I'm not sure how that got started, but these should be much more intuitive. We're also working on space. We've heard it from a lot of people, is I want my partners to see more. Screen size is king. Let's not waste it with a lot of stuff. So you'll notice we've combined a bunch of things on the bottom row. The organization, the date, the organization logo, the favorite, and the like-dislike. So all that used to take up vertical space now is going horizontal. We used to have a pretty big buffering around any image that you had in your post. We're working on trimming that down to be the absolute minimum so there isn't, again, wasted white or background space. So working hard to make this look better for you. And we realize that a lot of you have unique needs, colors, custom icons already. So once we get closer to this being rolled out, I'll be reaching out to each and every one of you so we can coordinate what it is we want to do with your UI, because we want to make sure we don't upset your users and make anything more confusing for sure. But we do want them to realize that it's an upgrade and a better experience for everybody. And another great thing is working on our tablet app. No fancy name right now, but it is an app, as it's pretty easy to understand, that will run on a tablet or on a desktop. So it'll support rotation. So that'll be great for showing landscape material, or especially any links in your portal or any other site you're going out to that previously were not very mobile friendly. You'll have a lot more real estate to do that. A lot of you like to show information on a spreadsheet type form or have some bigger pieces of data. So it'd be a great way for to do that. Obviously, it can't be applicable to the card carousel at this time because those go into the app itself as a portrait aspect ratio, and this is pulling the same information. So we can't just all of a sudden say you can throw landscape slides up there, because they'd have to also be able to be shown on the phone. So, but that's a second or third generation. No, we're going to do it. No, we want to do it rather, but it's not in this release. Just to make sure we're clear. It'll support it on workstations, including Internet Explorer. We know a lot of you corporate users are on that platform. There'll be a minimum IE version. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I'm waiting for Dev, of course, to set that out, but we'll let you know for sure before the product gets out there for you. And that'll be a very good way for everyone, again, through IE to access the content management system. We're going to separate off that login so you don't log into the app view and then hit the sprocket. So that'll be a little bit different, but it's going to be a much better experience. And I've been told, yes, if you're running this app on your tablet or your desktop. It'll support push notifications. Obviously, you need to be in the app for them to get there because it's not using the phone. So a little different technology, but at least for you people that have desktop users that are in the CMS or for whatever reason, they'll be able to receive push notifications. So that's huge. And also in Q1, missions is being coded right now, and if you haven't heard about that, we think it's the next best thing because we find that a lot of people in the sales roles like to be given checklists. Tell me what to do, and I will do it faster than anybody else. So that's what missions in its simplistic form are, is tell the partner what to do, monitor when they've done it, and of course you can always add a reward structure with the gamification type features as well to tie it all together. So yes, I got a new product out, I've got an ebook, I want them to promote it. So as this sample mission says, read the ebook, read the news items on it, check out the battle cards, reward people who blog or social syndicate that information back out to their channel. So again, other uses for sure, but we see this as a real benefit. Another one is your entire onboarding process for a new partner can be laid out in a mission and then run by the partner through the app, and you can monitor their progress through the CMS. So like Aaron had that slide up earlier of that one poor partner management person or account manager, trying to manage all those partners and having all those trivial questions all day long. Well, now we're starting to drive the boat instead of be driven by it. Oops, gotta go back. That's all I had for where we're going with the roadmap. I'll turn the microphones back on, so if you've got a conversation going, I'll ask you to mute yourself in case you've got to keep on that phone call so we can hear if anybody has a question. What is it for mission? E-learning workflow to communicate. One, so end of March, I'm hoping. I'm waiting to see the demo. I know the dev has been working pretty heavily here.
Hey, Kurt, I have a question.
Sure.
We're getting ready to officially launch our app, and I'm wondering if there's anything on the roadmap that will allow us to automate the push notifications so that we can actually schedule those to go out at specific dates and times rather than having to physically be there to make that push.
That is something that I know we have talked about. I'm not sure if it's in one of the next couple of cycles, but I will certainly follow up on that one and let everybody know, because I agree, especially for you people working just cross-continent here in the U.S., let alone international. You want to be able to go into that CMS once, create a push. Reasonable.
Yeah, we'd like to be able to schedule them so that we can do contests to generate that activity, but because of the fact that you can't create posts on a mobile device and you have to be physically in front of your desktop or laptop, it makes it very difficult to time those appropriately.
Yep, really good. Also, I want to caution people that, I don't know if it's unique to Motorola or not. I haven't been able to get it fully, but I do know in the January time frame, my Motorola Android device did a forced operating system upgrade. And ever since, it has really made how it receives push notifications less than optimal. I now receive...
Jordan, baby, feels like the cards are never ending.
I'm not good at those things in general.
Sorry, I had to mute everybody. Somebody had a call come in. I now receive the icon and probably about the first maybe 30 to 40 characters of text. And if I click on it, I used to go to like a notification center where I could read it. It now just goes and it launches the app that it's from. So please make sure you're putting, we're trying to get into it. It seems to be the phone operating system issue. It's certainly nothing we can control. It's nothing that the service we use to do this can control. But it's acting differently because if I go to my ones from the weather service are acting okay, but these aren't. So if you have things, like if you're putting out a secret code for this week's prize or something, make it the first sentence so that people can see it in the push. That, and I know a lot of our customers have gone to replicating the push in a separate wall in their product so that they can just have an easy way, or you can put it in the wall itself and then have a tag so you can filter on pushes to get to it really easy, going backwards to look them up. Okay, I'll unmute. See if we have any more questions.
Hi, this is Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
From CA. I know I have like 6 questions, and I was trying not to ask them all, but if I can get these answered, it would be awesome because then I could provide an update in my next meeting. But I was just curious, I know you mentioned on the Analytics 2.0, when is that due to be released?
I don't have a date right now. I know it is not Q1, but I know it's, Dave and I are very anxious for it, so I'm hoping to hear the date of early Q2 very soon. So as soon as I know anything at all, I'll certainly let all of you users know.
Okay, so early Q2 for analytics. In terms of the SSO capability that Aaron had talked about, where it was a single sign-on to the portal, is that something that can be, is that a custom? Basically, we're not utilizing that right now, and I'd love to find out why, because that would be so great for our partners to just be able to enter their information and then get into the portal without having to go back to the portal and enter their username and password again. So is that single sign-on option available?
Yes, single sign-on is one of the options that we do, and right. So once we do that for you, that will be the behavior of your partners, or of the app for your partners, rather. Once you sign into the app, you can then pass those login credentials over to the portal.
Okay, so that would be something we'd have to look at, from the technical perspective of what can be done on our portal and what can be, connected in that way, because I think there may be some issue on our end with it not being single sign-on, so that may be the limitation from our side. But I'll definitely look into it because I know we've had some requests on that.
Sure.
And then I was also curious about, there was another question on the, let's see. There was one that I had on, I'm sorry, I didn't highlight my last question. I guess I'll just ask this next one. Is there a CMS capability, like a content management system capability, where you can, well, there's 2 parts to it. One, where you can either access all the different content within the app without necessarily having to link to various sites, and then does it have the capability to like add or edit or modify or share or any of that in terms of the content management tool?
I guess I don't understand what you're trying to ask. I mean, anything that is stored within the app, so
Yep.
Cart carousels or anything in the resource center, is fully managed by you using this. And then you also manage links in the Resource Center or on posts. And then where they go to, of course, is up to you.
Okay, so for example, if we utilize, we'll just say this. We'll say we use the Resource Center and we have a data sheet on a product that we want to have in that section. Does it have the capability to modify a document within the Resource Center, like a content management system where you can go in and open up the PDF, modify it, save it, and share it, or is it just something that allows you to view the document and share it, but it doesn't have editing capabilities and everything like that?
Right. The app itself you can view or download, email to yourself. So once somebody has it on a computer, if they have tools to edit it, then they could. But from the CMS, and to make sure your content stays the way you want it, branded, stuff, you're uploading your PDF. One of the things we do have as a request that I've, again, hoping we hear pretty soon, is a way to exchange a document. A lot of you people have to upgrade revisions on price sheets and product sheets. So so a one-button swap for your product price.
Oh, I lost you. I don't know what you're saying.
All right.
I have no idea.
Move the question marks. It's still sort of there.
It's too bad.
No?
No, I can't.
Can anybody hear Kurt?
Bits and pieces, very poor.
Hardline Verizon connection. Unbelievable.
Okay, well, thank you anyway, Kurt. I know I am unmuted, but I'm not making any noises, I promise.
Yeah. Now, can you hear us now? Did we come back?
I can hear you a little better now, yeah. So I only got part of what you said, though, something about an exchange, and that was it.
Yeah, we're going to come up with a way in the CMS that you can upgrade a document. So let's say you're going from Rev 2 to Rev 3 of a document, and a one-click button to do that. So you don't have to delete it and re-upload one.
Okay. All right, great. Well, thank you very much for taking the time on those. Those were some questions that had been asked, and I just wanted to provide some feedback. So thank you.
All right, no problem. Did you hear when will the search tool be upgraded or enhanced? Again, that's on the roadmap, but I don't have a date for that. And that's all I had for questions. Okay, I'll move on then. Get back to my presentation. If you guys would email topics that you'd like to see for the next meeting, that would be awesome. We can get those included. I also want to hear how we can help. Like I said earlier, I'm at your beck and call. I can do consulting, brainstorming, talk about how we can include different business units like we've done with Oki. Once they realize the power of the app and how it could function. So love to have those conversations with you and your company. And of course, yes, that's the crazy guy that's been trying to talk to you all day, laughing at all those enhancements you want. So kidding. Yes, and I will have a self-serving feature request up pretty soon. I figured out a way we can do that so you can see what people are asking for, and you can add yours to the list. that'll be a way we can keep in touch, and you can see what others are doing, and hopefully I can get some sort of voting activity going on that as well. That's what I had. Our next meeting is May 20th. We'll put out an invite for that. So with that, we wish you all success in 2015. And I've got time. If anybody wants me to hang out and answer any more questions, I'm happy to. Thank you very much for attending.
Thanks so much, Kurt.
Thank you, Simon.
Thanks, Kurt.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kurt, for taking the time. It was very helpful. Appreciate it.
And this is Stephanie?
This is Stephanie from CA.
Yep. Nope. Just making sure. You're very welcome.
Great. Well, have a good day. Thank you.
Hey, Kurt. It's Becky.
Yes, Becky.
I posted a question, but just as a goofy question, is there a version of your app that we would use as users so that we could not only benefit from things being pushed to us, but get inspired by using it ourselves as members of your user group? Treat us like
I was going to ask exactly the same question.
It would be so cool to have an app running on our phone for us, so we could see how you guys have all the cool ideas, and then we get inspired and try to replicate it.
Yep, you're definitely on the same wavelength I am. I owe Deb some graphics, and I've asked them to I want a ChannelCandy users app so that I can communicate with you the very same way that I'm telling you to communicate with your partners. You are so on to me, Becky.
See, I think that's the next step for us with some users we're onboarding, not just channel members, but user group apps. This would just be dreamy, I think.
Yep. Great idea.
Sweet.
All
Okay,
right.
I'll pipe down.
Thank you so much for joining. We look forward to getting you completed.
I know I'm still an advocate. So I was very pleased to have the access to this meeting today.
Awesome.
It re-inspired me.
Great. We look forward to circling up with you real soon. So thanks for joining.
My pleasure. Bye.
Bye-bye.